Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to part 7 on creating mobile web applications using jQuery mobile. So guys, in this particular video we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna learn a bit more about jQuery mobile, as we would be dealing with multiple pages under a single file. So guys, let me tell you how actually it works. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to our actual I would say application directory, that's a jQuery mobile, and inside it I'm gonna open the file called index.php with my text editor. So guys, though it is a single file, or probably if you are creating any web application without jQuery mobile, you're gonna call it a single web page. But guys, that's not the case with jQuery mobile. For jQuery mobile, a page is actually something which is starting with a data role called page. So for jQuery mobile, the page is this entire block of code. So if I'm gonna recreate this entire block of code, it's gonna create multiple pages inside a single web page. So that's what I'm gonna do out here, guys. I'm gonna say end first web page. Okay, out here, guys, I'm gonna create another page. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say id call create let's say survey. Okay, and here I'm gonna give it a data role called page. So here I'm gonna say data role called page, and here I'm gonna give myself a note once again. I'm gonna say end second web page. Okay, and guys, out here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a header very first. So I'm gonna say div id to header. We're gonna give it a data role to header. Okay, and inside it I'm gonna create an h1 that would be in heading, and I'm gonna say create a survey. Okay guys, so let's do one thing. Create one more div out here. I'm gonna say div id to content. Okay, content like this, and here I'm gonna say data row to content either. So data row here would be content, and I'm gonna say myself and content, and guys here I'm just gonna write a paragraph tag where it's gonna say this is create survey. Okay, and guys, out here on the top, if you will notice that we have created some I would say navigation anchor links. So let me go ahead and log in out here. I'm gonna enter my name, my password. It says it will be redirected in a moment. That will happen. And guys, right now I'm on the index.php file. And guys, if you will notice, we have a couple of links out here on the bottom. One of them says list surveys, add survey, list user, and add users. So guys, what I want is every time I'm clicking on this particular link called I would say add survey, I'm actually getting redirected to a different div inside the same page called index.php, but I'm actually getting redirected towards the div called create survey. So for that, what I'm gonna do is out here where we created the link, I'm gonna say hash, and I'm gonna append the div name. Okay, or probably we can say index.php, and then we can say this particular thing called hash and create survey. And out here on the top for list survey, I'm gonna say index.php. So guys, come back, refresh this particular page. Okay, and I'm gonna click on the link called add survey, and guys, you will notice I have been redirected where it says a header called create survey, and out here it says this is create survey. And guys, as we have not created any footer, that's the reason we don't have those links out here on the bottom anymore. But that's okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna refresh the page, and I will be redirected back to index.php file. Now guys, I'm not gonna create a separate page for add survey, or probably we're gonna create a dialog box. So all we need to do for that is, instead of here like where it says data role equals to page, I'm gonna say data role equals to a dialog box. Okay, and where we have the actual link, I'm gonna say data rel. Okay, so like out here on the bottom it was data row. Out here on the top where we have the link, we're gonna have a data rel. Okay, I'm gonna say dialog. Okay, so guys, come back, refresh one more time, and I'm gonna click on this particular link called add survey, and guys, you will notice a dialog box have been opened out here, and here we can actually list our form, or we can create a submit button, and we can let a user add multiple surveys. But before that, we need to check the same functionality on our Android emulator. So then what I'm gonna do, not here, or probably here, okay, I'm gonna refresh this particular page. So now it's done. I'm gonna click on the link called add survey. Let's see what's gonna happen now. Oh, awesome. So we have the same dialog out here. So I'm gonna close it, and guys, now we can actually continue creating our form to create a survey. So what I'm gonna do is out here I'm gonna create a div. I'm gonna say div with an ID of survey form. Okay, here I'm gonna end it, and here I'm gonna say survey form. Then guys, I'm gonna create a div with an ID, let's say survey user name. Okay, we're not gonna have any class. I'm gonna say a data row to field content. Okay, like this. Guys, out here I'm gonna create an input box. I'm gonna say input type to text, name gotta be equals to survey username. Okay, for the value we're not gonna probably, you know what, for the value we're gonna have, you know, the session variable. So here I'm gonna say $session like this. Okay, and I'm not even sure what I named it, so I'm gonna go to libs. I'm gonna open the file called session.php, and I'm gonna copy it from here. Okay, so here I'm gonna end it, and guys, I'm gonna, you know, make it to read only field. Now if you want your application will let the user change the username, you can probably, you know, remove this particular read only stuff, but I'm gonna keep it here because I don't want, you know, a logged in user to use someone else's name while filling in the surveys. And guys, for the ID I'm gonna say survey username. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it here. Next thing I need to do is I need to copy this particular div. Okay, out here I'm gonna say that was shop inspected, I believe so. Yeah, shop inspected div. Out here I'm gonna say, you know, select box. So I'm gonna say select a name to shop inspected like this. Okay, it's gonna have an ID to shop inspected. And out here I'm gonna have, you know, a couple of option values. The very first one gonna be a select. Okay, the next one gonna be let's say yes. Okay, and the very last one gonna be no. So here I'm gonna say no and no here. In the same way, we need to have the other one called issues found, if I'm not wrong. Here issues found, that what I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna say issues found. I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it for ID either. And guys, the very last thing, we need a conditional text area. So what that text area gonna do is, if you're gonna say issues found to yes, then we actually want to show that particular text area to the user. Otherwise we don't want to show it. So I'm gonna copy it. Here I'm gonna say issues found with an O, and here I'm gonna say to let's say comments. Okay, let's keep it simple. To comments here, the word I'm gonna say here, probably no, we're not gonna have any select box. We're gonna have a text area. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say, you know, text area name to comments with an ID to comments, and I'm gonna, you know, keep it here. So guys, one more thing we need to do is we need to create, you know, a submit button either. So I'm gonna say add survey, SURVEY, okay, like this. And here I'm gonna say an input type, or probably, you know, we're gonna have a button here. So here I'm gonna say button name to add survey. Okay, the type gonna be a submit. We're not gonna have any value. I'm gonna say data inline to true, like this. For the button text, I'm gonna say add survey. Okay, and I'm gonna give it an ID too. So I'm gonna say ID, and here I'm gonna say add survey. So I believe, guys, that's all we need from this particular form. We can probably go back to the browser and let's see what we have now. Okay, so it needs to be like this. Refresh the page. Uh, Click on Add Survey here. Hey guys, so here it says the survey username is actually to the person name who's logged in right now. Then we have a select box where it says whether you have selected it or not. So I'm gonna say yes, and here I can say yes, and guys, then I have a text area where I can actually leave some comments, or probably we're gonna increase the height for this text area. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here I'm gonna say height to let's say 150 pixels, and guys, out here for the text area I'm gonna say enter notes. Okay, so at least the user will be sure what I'm what exactly we are trying to say with this particular text area. So, and guys, I believe we need to create labels either, because if I'm gonna open this particular I would say create survey thing, you will notice user have no idea what these two select boxes are for, or for actually for what purpose I have this an input box out here on the top. So we need to create labels either. What I'm gonna do is very quickly I'm gonna add label. I'm gonna say label like this for username. Okay, here I'm gonna say label for shop inspected, like this. Okay, out here I'm gonna have a label for issues found, like this. Here I'm gonna have a label for issues comments. Okay, like this. So come back, refresh, and let's see what we have now. So I'm gonna click here. Okay guys, now here it says username, here it says shop inspected, issues found, yes or no, or here it says issue comments. So guys, I believe that's all we need, and probably out here I have to say style and then height to 150 pixels. That's my bad. So let's open it. Okay guys, now we have a bit I would say now we have a text area which actually looking like a text area now. So guys, next thing we need to do is we need to add Jquery to it, so finally we can actually authenticate this particular form, and we can make sure that the user is not leaving these fields empty. Okay, and for this particular div out here, call comments, or probably what I can say survey comments. Okay, so that I can easily target it with my style sheet. So here I'm going to say ID survey comments should have a display to null. So like by default we don't want to show it, and with Jquery we're gonna find out whether the user is selecting that particular I would say input box or not, and if they are, I'm really sorry, select box to yes or no, and if they are selecting it to yes, then only we're gonna show this particular text area. So what we're gonna do is inside of the JS folder I'm gonna create one more JS file. I'm gonna name it to add survey.js. okay, just do a DOM ready here, and I'm gonna do alert here. So I'm gonna say alert to some crap. I'm gonna come back here, and guys, we're gonna include this particular file out here. So I'm gonna say script type to text / JavaScript. Here I'm gonna say source would be to JS / the file name, so they're gonna be add survey.js. Come back, refresh, and here it says some crap that we actually alerted from our JS file. So I'm gonna remove it. Guys, here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say $form like this to submit function, like the way we did for our login form. Okay, like this. And guys, so what I'm gonna do is probably I'm gonna open our login file, and I'm gonna copy these two functions. So that's actually show success and show error. So I'm gonna paste from here, and out here on the very bottom I'm gonna say return to false. And also we need to do one thing. We need to wrap up everything inside I would say a form. So I'm gonna say form method to nothing, action nothing, probably take everything off from here. So I'm gonna wrap everything inside this particular form like this. Okay guys, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our add survey file. Here I'm gonna create a function called validate. Probably let's say shop inspected. Okay, like this. Here I'm gonna say f dollar id. I'm gonna go back to index.php file. I'm gonna come here to the bottom, and here is the ID of the select box where it says shop inspected. So I'm gonna say if $shop inspected dot well dot length is equals to 0. That means we don't have anything selected out here. We're gonna say actually to show error, and the message gonna be select whether shop has been inspected or not. Okay, inspected or not out here, and then I'm gonna say return to false, else we're gonna return to true. In the same way, I'm gonna create another function called validate issues found. Okay, here I'm gonna say f dollar id issues found dot val dot length is equals to 0. That means again we don't have anything inside it, and I'm gonna copy out this stuff from here. So like this. Here I'm gonna say select whether issues have been found or not. Okay, like this. And guys, I believe that's all from these two functions, and now probably we can test them. So here I'm gonna say if validate our first function and validate our second function, or probably I would say if they both are returning to true, return true, else you also return false. Okay, so here I'm gonna say return false. And guys, I believe that's fine, and probably what, we can show a success message here to valid for now. Okay, here I'm gonna say valid. So here it needs to be and like this, 2 ampersand signs. So I'm gonna refresh the page. Let's see what we have now. Here I'm gonna click, it says select whether shop have been inspected or not. Awesome. I'm gonna say yes. Here it says select whether issues have been found or not. I'm gonna say yes, and guys, here it says valid now. That's really awesome. Okay, here actually I'm returning to true, so I'm gonna take that off. That's my bad, and I'm gonna take everything away from our URL, and take this particular else statement off either. So, because next thing we need to do is we need to create one more function. What I'm gonna do is here I'm gonna say function toggle comments. Okay. And here I'm gonna say as f dollar id issues found, okay, dot val is equals to yes. Now guys, we are not working with length this time, we are working with the actual value, and if the value is yes, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say dollar id. I'm not even sure what the id is. That's a survey comment. So I'm gonna paste it here. Dot I would say what, show. Okay, and else I'm gonna say dollar survey id dot height. Okay, and dot height. Now guys, every time we're gonna mouse up or mouse down this particular select box, we're gonna run this function. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is out here on the top, let's say here I'm gonna say dollar id issues found dot mouse up function. Okay, and we're gonna run it. I'm gonna say toggle comments, and we can do the same thing for mouse down like this. So guys, come back, refresh, and let's see if we have the same thing or not. So here I'm gonna say yes. No, it's not doing anything. Let's check out the console. Might be we have some errors. So I'm gonna say no, it's not doing anything. If I say yes, no, it's not doing anything. Or probably let's choose something. Here I'm gonna say, I'm gonna console.log it. So I'm gonna say console.log this. Let's see what happened now. So I'm gonna say add survey. No, it's not even running this particular function at all. So let's go back to our index.php file. Here it says issues found. That's fine. If I'm gonna come here on the top, I said, oh, that's my bad, guys, because here it says issue found, though I have to say issues found. So one more try, click on add survey. Hopefully it's gonna work. Not at all. Oh my gosh. Here it says toggle comments, console.log its current value, dot mouse up, dot mouse down. Oh, you know what? It's actually my bad. Out here it says every time you're submitting a form, then do it. Oh my gosh. I have to actually, take everything out of this particular form clause. So I'm gonna take it away and I'm gonna paste it here. That was my bad, guys. So one more try, guys. So here I'm gonna say add survey, and guys, if you will notice, now we have our enter node stuff here, and if I'm gonna say to no, it's not there anymore. That's really awesome. Next thing, I'm gonna take this particular string away from the text area, because now we have label, and that label can actually make a user understand what this text area is for. So I'm gonna come back to the file called add survey, and we're gonna build one more function here. So our next function gonna be function validate comments. Okay, now guys, here we're gonna have a very simple class very first. We're gonna say if dollar or you know what, I'm gonna copy this particular if from here, from our toggle comments function, and I'm gonna paste it here. If this is equals to yes, then only validate our, I would say, comments field. So I'm gonna say if dollar comments dot val dot length is equals to 0, like this. Then I'm gonna say show error. Okay, here I'm gonna say enter notes before you continue. Okay, or you can say whatever you want. So here I'm gonna say for else probably return to false. Here I'm gonna say return to true, and out here on the top I'm gonna add this particular function either. So I'm gonna say add and the function name. And guys, one more refresh, one more try. Let's see what if we have everything out here or not. So I'm gonna click on add survey. Here it says select whether shop have been inspected or not. I'm gonna say yep, dude, it have been done. Now here it says issues have been found or not. Yes, they have been found. Now I'm gonna say, oh my gosh, now it says to valid, though it does not. Okay, let me go and let me check out the function called validate comments. So here it says if issues value is equals to yes, if comments.val.length is equals to 0. Let me come back. Here it says ID to comments. That's fine. Length is equals to 0. Or you know what, guys, I'm gonna do a console here to find out what's the current value of comments field. So I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it here like this. And let's see what we have now. So I'm gonna do one more refresh, and I'm really sorry for that, guys. So I'm gonna say yes, I'm gonna say yes, I'm gonna open console, I'm gonna clear everything, and if I'm gonna hit the submit button, it says it's 0. Here it says enter notes before you continue, and it says valid 2. That's really bad. You know what, no, it's fine. Or I have to probably say return false here. and that's what I believe. Okay guys, one more try. I'm not even sure why it's showing both the messages, just like the success and the error both. So here it says valid. That's bad. See, here it says enter notes before you continue, and out here on the bottom it says valid. That's something I have to check out. So just give me a moment, guys. Oh my gosh, you know what? Here it needs to say return false, and here it needs to say return true. I'm not sure why I did that. One more try, guys. So here yes, here it needs to be yes. Now it says enter notes before you continue. Awesome. So I'm gonna say shop was damaged. Okay. And if I'm gonna say add server, here it says valid. That is something we want. Now once we're gonna hit, we're gonna send a request to PHP. PHP gonna make an entry to the database, and then we will start listing them here to our index.php file. But guys, we're gonna do all that in the next video, not now. So I'm gonna see you guys next time. Goodbye.